Hi there. I'm your host, Corinne, and this is Okay, But Are You Good? Where we check in on ourselves on a weekly basis to see how we're doing. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you had a great New Year's, and I hope the last few days you've been making your life what you want it to look like. And if you haven't, no worries. There's always time, right? So let's get into it. If you're listening to this right after the new year, take a deep breath. Even if it's not right after the new year, still take a deep breath with me and just chill out. Because this time of year, the holidays just finished and it can be overwhelming. You might feel pressure to be in constant 0 to 100. Day 1, boom, boom, boom. Like you're just knocking out all the stuff. Day 2, nothing. And you're like, okay, let me start over. And there's so much pressure because you want this to be new year, new me, new everything. Everything's going to be great. I'm ready, new year, new me, because 2025 sucked. But 2026 is going to be great. I love the even years, even though I was born in an odd year, but whatever. Anyways, especially around this time, there's so much pressure to change everything about ourselves, forget the old us, and it's new, new, new. Whether it be your routine, your mindset, your habits, just pretty much your life almost, it could feel like. And don't worry, which is why if everything isn't 0 to 100, you feel left behind and you're seeing stuff online or other people in your life. They're like, oh yeah, I did this and that. And I woke up at 5 a.m. And you're like, I didn't do any of that. Let me tell you, you're not behind. You're doing fabulous. You don't need a new life. You don't need to become a completely different person to have a wonderful new year. You just need habits, a routine that works for you and supports the life that you have already created. The idea of new year, new me, it sounds motivating, right? But there are the moments where it actually does more harm than good because you set unrealistic expectations. We're trying to change everything overnight, right? And we end up relying on motivation instead of consistency. And then once life gets busy, because you know it always will, we tend to fall off. We get discouraged. We go down that rabbit hole of, oh, great. Now I'm so behind. My life isn't going to look like how I want it to. I'm just going to have to try it in 2027. But the problem isn't you. The problem is expecting transformation without structure. Real change doesn't always come from extreme goals. Again, it's circumstantial. It's figuring out what you're trying to do. So take that what you will. But change comes from small habits done consistently. Habits don't require motivation always. They require repetition. That's why they're called habits. And that's why they're implemented into your daily routine. You're going to brush your teeth every day. At least I would hope so. That's one of your daily habits because you're not just going to wake up one day and be confident 24/7 forever for the rest of your life, because you don't just immediately wake up feeling disciplined, grounded, or confident. You usually build those feelings by showing up for yourself in small ways consistently. And by showing up for yourself day by day, that's how you build trust within yourself. Habits are a form of self-respect. It's showing yourself that you can show up for yourself every day. You're feeding yourself, you're resting, and you're getting the amount of sleep you're supposed to get. I'm still working on that. You're taking care of your mental health, your emotional health, moving your body every day to whatever extent it can. That is showing up for yourself and implementing these little daily habits. And especially when you're setting boundaries, you set boundaries with other people, but you also got to set them with yourself and know your limits and know that you need to be disciplined if you want change to happen. Because if you're unhappy with how your life is looking like, if you're unhappy how you feel every start to the new year, the only person that can make that change is yourself. So you got to get up, make a change, make a difference, figure out what habits you want to implement, figure out how you want your life to look out, map it out, make those lists I always talk about, because habits start with yourself and they start with self-discipline, and meaning they start by showing up for yourself. As I've said 500 times, Because it's true. You can't have other people doing stuff for you all the time. You have to do it and implement it and motivate yourself. Do you think I want to wake up on the days I can sleep in and go for a run in the morning? Absolutely not. I'm not a morning workout person, but I'm so focused on my goals and I'm trying to stay self-disciplined and motivated that I continue to do this when I don't want to. And then I feel great. Well, I feel great and I'm really tired after. So the only person that can do this stuff is yourself. So get up, make your list, figure out what you want to do and work towards it, because you're not going to be a completely different person overnight. You got to work towards it. That's why we started our quarterly goals. And if you still haven't started those, that's okay. Just figure out what you want your life to look like and get going, because you are not behind on your own schedule, you know? So, what kind of habits can we implement in our life to make our days seem easier instead of thinking of it as what should I achieve this year? You want to think about your day to day. It could be something like a calmer morning routine. I am someone that's always waking up way later than I should and rushing out the door. If I could really nail my sleeping schedule, I would love to wake up earlier and just chill and leave at the time I want to leave and not just rush out. So calmer mornings. Enjoying your coffee, not just rushing and drinking it on the way to work. Drinking more water. I don't know how many we're supposed to have in a day. I feel like it varies per person, so you can do some research for yourself. Moving our bodies in a way that we enjoy. Mine is Pilates and I guess running now. So, it took me a while to get here, but I got there. So find a workout, a movement you like. Again, it can be at home. You don't have to pay for these classes. Walking is free unless you do it at the gym. So movement is very important. Physical health is very important along with your mental. If you haven't caught on to that by now, maybe it's because it's your first episode, but we out here taking care of our mental, physical, emotional health, baby. Another thing we can work on making our days easier is less scrolling, less being on our phones, on social media. I know it's so hard, but go read a book or go do artwork, play a sport, do something, organize something that isn't just mindlessly looking and you lost all your time. I know we all do it because it helps. It's just mindless activity. And you do need that after a long day at work. So I totally get it. So just, set a time limit. I also love the idea of giving yourself your own time every day, or just quiet moments for yourself. I know not everyone can do that, but I mean, even if it's just 15 minutes, you have 15 minutes in the day, I would hope. And whether that's meditation, journaling, or just listening to your favorite album, just make time for yourself, because all day, every day, I feel like I'm doing things for everyone else. So if I'm not doing it every day, I at least try and do some self-care at least once a week. And that is a face mask or reading my book, which I haven't had time to do. The face mask is cool. Face masks are fun because you can wear one as you're cleaning the house, or you can double up on those habits, which is fun. I love getting two things done at once. And lastly, creating boundaries around your time. If you can't make it work, you just need to set that clear boundary and not just try and go above and beyond, because then you're losing out on your 15 minutes for yourself, maybe, or you're giving up time just for yourself, for other people. You got to set some boundaries, see how you want your schedule to look, your daily habit or your daily routine. And you will really feel the difference mentally. You don't feel such a heavy load when you make time for yourself, when you have those slower mornings, when you're drinking enough water, you're just taking care of everything you're supposed to do. And then you are able to just be yeah, this is not that big of a deal. It just becomes routine. It becomes second nature. So slowly every day, if you can implement this stuff and make the effort, you have to mentally make the note of oh, okay, I should do this and that. That's how I am with my journals, with my journaling and my red light therapy mask. I have to really remind myself okay, make sure you do this because it will pay off long term. And these little habits, these not super flashy I'm going to work out twice a day, read a book every day, or do something like way a little bit more hardcore. These are more realistic in the sense that you can do them and you won't get exhausted right away. So just implement one thing or one or two things and then keep adding as the months and the weeks, as the weeks and the months go by. And then by the end of this year, you'll be like, oh, like this is already my day to day. Like, what can I accomplish this upcoming year? But let's get through 2026 first before we start thinking about 2027. And something to think about is maybe there's habits in your life that you continue to do, but they might not be working for you. I think my habits were I try to implement too much at once and it didn't work out. Like I wanted to wake up, do the ice roller, skincare, journal, make sure the kitchen's clean, pack my lunch, do this and that. And it was too much in the morning. So I had to dial it down a little bit. So now I just journal and do my morning skincare. If I can remember to do the ice roller, I will. And I don't have to clean the kitchen anymore because I'm doing it at night, hopefully. Majority of the time I clean at night, but if I can't, then I do it in the morning. And then I instead of making my lunch in the morning, I make sure I plan it out the night before because I know I'll have more time at night than I do in the mornings. So I think I've shifted to just less things I have to do in the morning. So it's easier. And once I start actually waking up when I need to, I've never been a morning person my entire life. My mom used to have to wake me up all the time and I was a nightmare. And I still am. No one likes to wake me up. Me and my little cousin. It's genetics, I guess. But so I just realized too much in the morning isn't working. Less habits, less little routines, more effective for me. And look, we all have expectations of how we want our life to look like, how we want our weeks, our day to day. And then all we see online is what everyone's quote unquote it person life looks like. You can get there and you will, but you just have to show up for yourself, stay consistent, see what works for you, and it will all fall into place. Don't be so hard on yourself if you're not looking like the people you see online or the people that are in your real life. Start small, start not so flashy, do kind of like a trial and error. And just by having this like mindset, this is going to be your year. If you haven't started working out, if you haven't started doing certain things in your schedule already, that's okay. You still have time. I'm still working on some stuff and we can be in this together. We can get to where we want together by staying consistent and working on our day-to-day routines, because this year isn't only about becoming something or someone new. It's about becoming more supported. So remember, choose habits that support you, not habits that are going to exhaust you and are unrealistic. And as always, make sure you check in with yourself and ask, okay, but are you good? Happy New Year again. Looking forward to what this year brings us. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next week.